Hello, and just a few hours ago, Apple concluded their 2012 edition of WWDC, or their Worldwide Developers Conference. Now, as you can see by the lighting, it's still on the eve of that night. So I wanted to talk about it now and give you my impressions now, because I obviously, while it's hot off the press, more people know. I want to say first that so much happened that in this video I'm going to focus on the computer end of the market. A lot of things did happen with iOS, but I'll talk about that in a separate video. In this video, we're just going to talk about the refreshes made to the actual computer hardware and possibly the computer operating system later down the line. So first, a couple of general things to say before we get started talking about specific models. There's now a MacBook Air and a MacBook Pro. So in terms of product naming conventions, Apple didn't introduce a new product. They didn't reintroduce the MacBook Pro brand as some people thought they would. Instead, they simply added another model to the MacBook Pro line. All of the Apple computers now have USB 3.0 support. A lot of people speculated that they wouldn't do that because they have Thunderbolt, which is obviously their own custom technology, but they did indeed put that in. So you've got a Thunderbolt port and a USB 3.0/2.0 port on the MacBook Air. You can also put up to 512 gigabytes of flash solid state storage in the MacBook Air now, which I can imagine is sky high expensive, but the options there, it's up from 512 to it's up from 256 to 512. Sorry about that. And it's also it's got the new line of Core Ivy Bridge processors, the same clock speed, I believe, but Intel's new processor architecture. So that should give us increased speeds. And I'm not sure if this is new, but I'm just looking on the webpage now, and the MacBook Air now has a FaceTime HD camera. I believe it didn't used to before, but someone can post a comment just to confirm that. If you could post a comment down below, that'd be much appreciated. Okay, so that's the MacBook Air. We're now going to move on to MacBook Pro, and so much happened with the MacBook Pro that we're I'm gonna open Apple's webpage for it because it's quite confusing. Okay, so there's now two separate product families, if you like, within the MacBook Pro line. There's the two normal MacBook Pros, the 13-inch and the 15-inch. There's no 17-inch anymore. With their quad-core processors and everything they had, but there's now one with a retina display, and that's kind of the star of the show. It's the one that got all the updates. So I'm just looking at the website now. If you forgive me, like I say, the conference just finished a little while ago, and there was a lot to take in this time. So if we look at the MacBook Air, the MacBook Pro with Retina display, because that's really what's important here. it supports up to a 2.7 GHz quad core Intel Core i5 processor. So I don't think that's different than what was there before. But as the name implies, the display is really different. It's a 15.4-inch LED backlit retina display, and that has a resolution of 2880 by 118, and that's using the same technology as the iPhone and the iPad. It's not actually increased the amount of space you'll have on the screen. It's just increased the density of pixels. So now apps actually have to be, and I was surprised at this for desktop operating system, but the apps have to be actually specifically rewritten to take advantage of the Retina display technology, and all of Apple's core apps on that particular MacBook are do that. We've got all the standard stuff as well, like a FaceTime HD camera. We've got two Thunderbolt ports, two USB 2.0, two USB 3.0. Sorry, it's 1.8 centimeters, and there's actually no hard drive in this particular version. The MacBook Pro, you get a solid state drive as standard, and it's using the same solid state drive architecture as in the MacBook Air. So not an actual solid state drive, but just solid state memory. So these MacBook Pros were shipping today, and I'll just get the pricing for you. If you want to get your hands on one of these, the base pricing in the UK is £1,799. So that's a fair chunk, and then the MacBook Pro, the standard MacBook Pro, because they're branding it as MacBook Pro and then MacBook Pro with Retina display, is two separate products. Have had some money knocked off it as well. So that's pretty much it with the computers. I know I only did a high level overview, and I'll be doing an overview of some of the things we found out we're going to be in Mountain Lion at a later date, and I'll also talk about iOS because there was loads of stuff with that. No iPhone 5, no Apple TV, but apart from that, all the rumours were pretty much realised. So there's a lot to talk about with that. So I'll certainly be talking about that in the future. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Tell me down in the comments what you think of these new MacBooks. So sorry about the constant changing of colours. The lighting in here is a bit odd at the moment. I've just got one lamp on. It's all I could muster. And I will see you guys in the next video. Subscribe if you like it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. Bye guys. And the manufacturing experience. That's why they that's why they got rid of the white MacBook in the first place. So they could bring back a MacBook, but I think that would confuse shoppers, and I don't quite know where it would fit into Apple's portfolio. Considering that they've spent so long cultivating the MacBook Air brand as the kind of consumer level product, and you could argue that although the power might not, the price tag certainly matches that, and matches also in terms of power what the old MacBooks used to offer. So yeah, and then we have the two ones left, the Mac Pro and the Mac Mini, where we're expecting the Mac Pro to either be killed, which I don't think is ever going to happen, because as the name implies, it's the de facto machine for professional customers, and professional customers, although there isn't a lot of them, they bring a lot of money to Apple. So I do not think Apple are going to kill off the Mac Pro. The iMac, which is the next powerful machine, although it may be powerful enough, it just doesn't have the customization options that the MacBook Pro does. The hard drive bays, the ability to have more than one super drive, the high powered graphics cards. It's missing all those things that MacBook Pro users. That's what Mac Pro users. That's what they buy Mac Pros for. Those features. So I don't think Apple are going to kill those off. I'd like to think in the Mac Pro would see a case redesign, because we haven't seen one for ages. But to be honest, I don't see as Apple really need to redesign the case of the Mac Pro. I think it's liked by the people that use it, and certainly easy to access all the different components. I don't see as much they can do with the Mac Pro without losing any of those customization options. They could make it a bit smaller, because it is a very big machine, but I'm not sure how possible that would be, because I heard some rumours from DRB UK actually saying that the reason Apple went to the larger fans for the most recent Mac Pro is that the larger fans actually reduce noise. So that's maybe the trade-off that Apple are going for there. Again, I'd love to see a solid state drive stock in the Mac Pro, but I don't think that's going to happen, because even for such a high power machine, at the low end, solid state drive is still just too expensive for that to be a viable option. Lastly, the Mac Mini. A rumour that I also heard from DRB UK is that the Ivy Bridge, Intel's new generation of processors, is can't be put in the Mac Mini for power consumption reasons. Obviously, the Mac Mini is in terms of footprint and case space, it's the smallest of the Mac computers, and it's also the one with the least fans. So there may be some problems with power consumption in reference to putting it into Mac Pro. For that reason, I'm not sure what Apple are going to do, because they could put in a modern Sandy Bridge chip, but I don't really see them doing that. Okay, so that's the computer over with. Just a few extras. We could see a new version of iLife, because I think the latest version of iLife is iLife 11, I believe, but and traditionally it's been on a two-year release cycle. Well, with everything going to the release cycle iOS, I would expect it to be on a yearly release cycle now. In terms of what we could see, I don't. I hope iMovie inherits some features from Final Cut Pro 10, because we know from Final Cut Pro 10 that it became more like iMovie, and the professional users that loved Final Cut didn't really gel too well with the new version of Final Cut Pro. So I'm hoping that what they do bring some of the features from Final Cut Pro 10 to iMovie where they're more comfortable, and make the next version of Final Cut Pro 10 more like it used to be. So those are just my thoughts on the WWDC 2012. Obviously, there was a lot of rumours that we may see a new iPhone, the iPhone 6, new case redesign, all sorts of stuff flying about, 4G LTE, all largest display, loads of stuff flying around. You can't be in the tech community without hearing about the iPhone 5. Like I was say, although I think we might hear things about iOS, I highly doubt we're going to see an iPhone 5 at this event. I think, like I said, it's a developers conference, so they're not going to focus too much on hardware that doesn't really pertain to developers. I mean, obviously it does, but not in the same way that a new operating system or software does. What I'd like to see is a split between hardware and software, but I don't think there can be an even split, because Apple just don't tend to do that. They tend to focus on one thing and really sort of focus on it. So those are just my thoughts on WWDC 2012. What do you think? Leave your thoughts down in the comments, and thanks very much for watching, guys. Sorry for the long and garbled video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Don't forget
It's 13 hours.
You can visit my website at tom-rogers.com. There's lots of stuff on there. I'm planning on doing a redesign there soon, so that should be fun. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.